Hello and welcome to Food for Thought, Insights for Busy Leaders and Managers in just 150 seconds. Today I'd like to talk about the primary threats and rewards that can come to us when we're triggered and the things that actually cause us to be stressed. And there's a combination of them happening at the moment with the pandemic that's going on all around us. There's a real combination of things that are really quite explosive. And I'd like you to become aware of them so you can catch them. Because the thing about being stressed is that it actually makes us a bit stupid. What it does is it creates and triggers adrenaline and norepinephrine in our brains. And that triggers up the limbic system, which makes us very emotional and reactive because it taps into old emotional memories, some of them years old or even decades old, when we might not have been as resourceful as we are now in order to deal with those emotions. And it's also about being able to label things. The more we can label things, the more our brain is able to understand them and then kick in our logical brain and go, okay, what do I need to do about this? Rather than being in an emotional tizzy or in an emotional hijack, as Daniel Goleman wrote famously in his book on emotional intelligence. So we want to avoid or catch an emotional hijack early on so that it doesn't make us stupid and lower our intelligence. Because what happens when we get an emotional hijack is that we get a very narrow focus. So we'll go into zooming into a very small area and we miss the bigger picture. We make accidental connections between two thoughts that may have happened and occurred at the same time in our brains. And before we know it, we're triggered into a stress response and we'll make a pessimistic conclusion from those connections. So that doesn't put us in a very resourceful state. And there's 5 key things that I'd like to mention to you, and then I'm going to go into more detail in them in another video. So the first one is status. If our status gets threatened, we'll have a threat response. If things become uncertain, and my goodness, they're extremely uncertain at the moment, we get a stress response. If we have a lack of autonomy by being closed in and being told to stay indoors, that's a threat response. Relatedness, our relatedness is being fractured, that's a threat response. Unfairness, we think the whole thing is unfair, why is this happening to me? That's a threat response. This combination at the moment is overwhelming the whole population all around the world. And we'll talk in the next few videos about what you can do about it. So remember, when it comes to stress, stay curious.